This may not be the right time to record this, as the LA Clippers just won a great game against the Dallas Mavericks that kept their season alive. Kawhi Leonard went off. But the LA Clippers will never win a championship with their team that they have right now. A couple reasons why. First of all, Paul George has not shown up in the playoffs. I was just thinking about it yesterday. We are seeing Plandemic P, a combination between Pandemic P and Playoff P. So we're getting Plandemic P. Paul George has not shot the ball well. And yes, while he has gotten to his spots and he has overall he has not looked terrible like he did last year. And last year he had depression and he came back from that. But Paul George has not done very good in the recent games that he's played. He did not shoot well from 3 in the win last night. He did not shoot well from 3 to start the series. And the first couple games that they lost, Paul George just didn't look like himself. The past couple games he's been better. Past 2 games, the one on Sunday and then the one on Wednesday, Paul George shot pretty good from 3, and those were the playoff P days. Now, like last game, it was more of a pandemic P. And also, one of the main reasons why the Clippers won't win is because there's too much ISO ball, in my opinion. There's too much of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George trying to break their man down and get to the rim. And yes, they can easily do that. But I would only go to that if, let's say, Kawhi has 40, which he did last night. And if you saw the final couple minutes, Kawhi Leonard just went ISO ball and hit a couple step back threes, and that was what got the Clippers the win. That is fine, but when you're not shooting great and your whole offense kind of relies on ISO ball, that's not how you win a championship. And that's not really on Kawhi and Paul George, that's more on Ty Lue. Ty Lue's so used to having players that can just ISO it, but that has only gotten a ring, one ring? And the only reason why the Cavs were in the finals was because of LeBron James the other years. So my main reason is that the Clippers just rely too much on ISO ball. And also, if the Clippers are going to get to the finals, more likely than not, they have to go up against the Mavericks. Luka's a matchup nightmare for anyone, but the Clippers especially, they do not have anyone to stop them. You would think that since Kawhi and Paul George are 2 of the best two-way players in our league, they should be able to stay in front of Luka. Well, PG's been on Luka the whole series pretty much, and he hasn't been able to stop him. Patrick Beverley is too small. Rondo won't provide anything, so it's really up to PG and Kawhi. Kawhi hasn't been on Luka that much, which I honestly don't understand why. But PG has, and in the times that PG has, he's just not done a great job defensively. I'm going to show a couple plays here of Luka just getting by PG for literally no reason.
Grant Hill not out there.
Yeah, so important to this team. Doncic leads all players with a 40% usage rate in the playoffs, and once again,
the Los Angeles Clippers, and has been a wonderful addition in many different roles. Doncic inside, Marjanovic is there, doesn't even lift.
At least they're consistent with that rule and that call.
Dwight Powell is in. There's a shot by Doncic.
So these plays lead me to believe that either A, Paul George is not contending enough on defense, is not putting as much effort on defense, or Paul George just can't guard Luka. That's not good. And if he can't, why is Ty Lue not putting Kawhi on him? There are a bunch of coaching problems with this team. And when Doc Rivers left, I think he left a lot to be desired with Tyronn Lue coming there. That's one of my main problems. Also, I just don't really like the depth. The depth isn't as strong as some other championship teams. The Mavericks are a great example of where Tim Hardaway, Jalen Brunson, Kristaps Porzingis. Kristaps, honestly, at this point, is a role player. I'm gonna be honest. It's literally Luka's the only star. Kristaps is a role player. Maxi Kleber. Dallas has a very deep team around Luka Doncic. And while the Clippers have a good team around Kawhi and Paul George, there's still a lot to be desired. And in these losses that I see, Luka either A is draining threes or he gets it to open guys for shots. If the Clippers don't have players like that, like for example, let's look at Luke Kennard. The Clippers gave Luke Kennard a 4-year, $64 million deal, and he's barely played in the playoffs. Last night I saw Luke Kennard, but he barely played, man. It really comes down to coaching problems for me. That is why the Clippers won't do anything. And honestly, if the Clippers lose tomorrow, Kawhi might be out of there. It's dumb to me that you would ISO Paul George and Kawhi almost every possession, or a lot of possessions. You don't have a true offense, and you're not making the adjustments needed. Now, last night, I will give Tyronn Lue credit. He did make adjustments. I will link a video down below to B-Ball Breakdown. In his video, he describes the adjustments that they made. That'll be linked down below. The Clippers made adjustments. Tyronn Lue took it upon himself, made adjustments. And Luka did not shoot well from three. He was getting swarmed, and that should have been the whole series, was Luka getting swarmed. And from multiple directions too. The Mavericks have to rely on somebody else, except Tim Hardaway. Tim Hardaway's the only person you don't want getting hot, because Tim Hardaway got hot, and in that case, you're gone, because Tim Hardaway is almost like Duncan Robinson in a way, where he's a knockdown shooter. He's become a knockdown shooter. The Clippers need to keep eyes on him the same way that teams guard Duncan Robinson off of a screen or something, or you don't help as much, right? It's tough to say, but you don't help too much off of Tim Hardaway. With anybody else on the team, you'll take your chance, but with Tim Hardaway, he's a much better shooter than anyone else on the team. He's probably the best catch and shoot shooter on the team. So you want to make sure that you are at least not giving him open looks, right? Somewhat contested to contested, that's fine, but you don't want to give him open looks. For the Clippers, in tomorrow's game, what they need to do is, first of all, just play your heart out. And that's what the Clippers did last night, is they wanted to survive, and they did. Now you just got to do the same thing one more time, and then you can move on. For NBA TV ratings' sake, yeah, I want the Clippers to win, but it'll be a fun one. Whoever comes out, comes out. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope y'all liked and enjoyed. Next video is going to be about the Trailblazers firing Terry Stotts. It's an interesting move. We're also going to fit another Lakers video here in the next couple days. Posting around 3 times a week. Getting some good content in. Thank you so much. Peace.